Social gatherings could have caused COVID-related deaths within the country's Muslim community. A new study by researchers at the University of Cape Town tracked deaths in the Muslim community that occurred between May the 20th and June the 10th. They're said to be linked to infections coinciding with the last third of the month of Ramadan and, by extension, Eid celebrations. And with another Eid celebration coming up in a matter of weeks, could we see another spike in cases in the Muslim community? One of the authors of the paper, Dr. Salim Parker, joins us now. He's from the University of Cape Town's Division of Infectious Diseases and HIV Medicine. Dr. Parker, thank you for joining us. What led to you deciding to undertake this study?
Firstly, thank you for the invitation to address your audience. The study was undertaken by the NICD, which is the National Institute of Communicable Diseases, led by Dr. Jidat. And she noted that there was an increase in the number of cases that reported on a daily basis just after Eid. In fact, the Muslim community has a group called Muslim Stats South Africa, which is in good contact with Muslim burial societies as well as with the Muslim community at large. And they've been able to detect relatively accurately the number of deaths on a daily basis. And what was noted was that after Eid especially, which was on the 14th of May, the number of Muslim deaths was disproportionate to the number of the other population groups' deaths. Just to put it in perspective, about 2 to 3% of the South African population is Muslim, but we noted that the number of deaths was nearly double that. And if we look at, for example, the total number of deaths in June, the last month, we had about 593 documented Muslim deaths for the month of June, and the total number of deaths due to COVID was about 5,000. So here we're looking at about the 10% of the number of deaths being of those amongst Muslims, whilst the percentage of the population is only about 2 to 3%. Now, even if you take into account that that number of deaths is actually underreported, the percentage of Muslims still are disproportionately represented amongst the COVID deaths. Yeah. And we do think that it was caused by social gatherings, especially in Gauteng, where the numbers were very, very prevalent. We know that the number of cases in South Africa with the third wave started in Gauteng, and this disproportionate representation of the Muslim community deaths was noted in Gauteng especially, but also throughout the rest of the country.
What is it exactly about the Eid celebrations that you think might have led to this increase in numbers, and how can the Muslim community handle their celebrations differently with Eid coming up again?
Right. No, we have to take into account that it wasn't only noted amongst Muslim communities. In fact, the Western Cape government put out a notice that they identified outbreaks where gatherings were taking place. So it's not specifically the Muslim community. Yeah. Yes, the study revealed that. But for example, any social gathering, any place where people get together, like a bride, like a baby shower that has been documented, like a wedding celebration, all places where people gather is going to be a potential cause of a mass spreading event. So you asked me what should be done for the next Eid, which is coming up in about 2 to 3 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time actually. Again, it's not a case of not celebrating Eid. It's not a case of not partaking in the rituals, because that is the cause of the spread of the virus is not the religion. It's not the adherence to the it's not the adherence to the rituals. It is the breach of protocols. And what we know is that the basic ones, which I think everyone has been inundated with, is wearing off masks. People tend to socially gather and take the mask off. They tend to get closer to each other than the 1.5 meters that we advocate. They tend to stay for longer than the 15 minutes that we advocate if people are going to be close to each other. And they tend to, especially in winter, in the Western Cape, where we've got inclement winter weather, they're going to be gathering indoors where there's poor ventilation. All those factors contributes to the spread of the virus. So what we advise the Muslim community, but all other communities as well, is to firstly avoid gatherings. If there's going to be Eid celebrations, this can be done quite adequately via Zoom, can be done quite adequately by drive past, for example, or if family wants to greet their mother. So the social bubble of a household, for example, can drive past the elder's house, so they can greet her from the car. The rituals of slaughtering animals can be arranged where it can be done by Zoom. One representative of the family can actually go and do the slaughtering. But again, we want to extend this to all gatherings, whether it's a religious one. Every single gathering should be avoided in the next few weeks at least.
Dr. Salim Parker joining us there to discuss a study that was done indicating that there could have been a spike in COVID infections straight after Eid celebrations. And he's saying that it's not about attacking Eid or any religion in general. Where there's gatherings, where there's celebrations, it's likely that COVID-19 will spread quicker and easier. So we all need to be careful. Still ahead here.